All right, Minnesota Twins, my favorite baseball team. Excuse me. Yeah, my favorite baseball team. I'm so excited to be able to do the 2023 Minnesota Twins outlook, and so I think this is an interesting time in the franchise's overall growth period. I think also, the coaching staff has been, I think, at least it hasn't been a carousel as of recent, of doors, just going in and out with different coaches. I did like Molitor. I actually kind of wish that Molitor would have stayed as a lot longer than he did. So I really don't know what happened with Molitor. But Baldelli, I think, has been doing a fairly good job. He's getting better, I think, each year. And now he's become a mainstay in the Twin Cities, and that's a good thing to see. Just quickly looking at some of the WAR stuff here. Wins above replacement players. Walter Johnson, Rod Carew, some of the modern ones like Maurer, Puckett, a little bit older one like Blyleven, Radke, kind of a cool player, Leva, Herbeck, Knobloch, Santana. So, got a really good storied franchise. I'm looking at the playoffs right here, just initially on this right here, and they've gone to the playoffs quite a bit in the 2000s. Not quite a bit, I guess, but enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 times in the 2000s, and we've had 22 years, so I would say 40% of the time, 45% of the time, they're in the playoffs. So it's hit or miss. So overall, last year was a bad year, 78 and 84. In fact, to really be honest with you, this team has not played really, really good baseball since 2019, which is a bit disconcerting. And they had 101 wins that year and lost the divisional series 3-0. So, not the outcome that you really want off of a 101 win season. Anyway, my notes were indicating that Minnesota, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I had them rated at about 80 something wins, or was it in the 90s? Let's double check here. Okay, so I didn't have them rated. Anyway, if you look at the threes, you can kind of garner where you think the team's going to be. 43, 53. I like to look at this, and then I like to couple that with the odds. So let's just do this practice real quick and take a look at this and see if we can come up with anything quickly. It's not going to take but a second to try to figure out what their win total is. All right. So, okay. 76-70. I'm sorry. Yeah, 76-91. 81. 71. Back to 90 again. As low as 66 in 13. So I like this 90 revisit here. I'm going to call it right now. 90 wins on the Twins for the year. A bump of about 12 wins up. Now, let's take a look at the overall team. In terms of starting pitching, currently in the this is March 1st, 2023. They are 2-3 in spring training, so they're just under 500. They have them listing Sonny Gray as the number one horse on the team. Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, Tyler Mahle, and Kent Maeda. If Maeda can stay healthy, that'd be good. Mahle's kind of a big stud, big dude that can, big, tall, strong guy. So I think this is a good spot for him at 4. I think Ryan should be the number 1 guy. So I don't know how ESPN has Gray in there, but Gray, I guess, has been considered a number 1 almost everywhere he's gone in his career. So I guess that's perhaps the reasoning why they're putting Gray in there over Ryan. But overall, just look at the 5 pitchers, and it's solid. It's not great. I think a lot of it's, I think Gray, Ryan, and Lopez are going to be very, very good. Those 3. If Gray can stay healthy, these 3 are going to be really good. The question marks is the Mahle and the Maeda, the 2 M guys. I would trust Maeda probably over Mahle a little bit more, but Tyler has had very good games when he played for the Reds, and so he can dominate in certain games. It depends on the day he's pitching and so on and so forth, if he's on that day. If he's off, he's off. If he's on, he's on. He's one of those hot, cold, Hunter Dozier kind of players. All right, so let's take a look at a couple other things here. What do they have projected as the default against right-handed pitching and a default against left-handed pitching batting orders? Jorge Polanco as your leadoff hitter against righties. So, okay. Jorge had a really bad year last year, and so I want to see him bounce back, considering Arraez is gone now. Arraez was an excellent leadoff hitter. Very, very good. Got on base a lot. Excellent hitter. Probably the best hitter besides Goldschmidt last year in baseball. You know, from a hitting standpoint and getting on base, singles, and sometimes he gets a double here and there. Arraez was where it was at. I understand why they traded him, because they wanted the pitching, but and they wanted that, you know, whatever they could get in return for some prospects as well for Arraez. But having Arraez was a really solid bat. So that means Jorge's going to have to really step up this year when he had a down year last year. And if they have him as the leadoff hitter against right-handed pitching, he's going to have to really step it up, because we've had some, that's some pretty big shoes to fill in Luis Arraez last year's performance. So let's cross our fingers for Polanco to do well if he's the leadoff hitter for this team. If he plays 260, 250, that kind of average, that is going to really hurt this team. Just you're already getting an out right away, and when he's up to bat. So we can't have that. I was talking about the Red Sox having Kiki Hernandez as their leadoff hitter. That's sort of the same situation here. This Polanco thing is. So if that's the situation and Buxton's not leading off against right-handed pitching, which I don't think he will be, RotoWire. Okay, anyway, I'm getting too far into the rabbit hole with that. So Correa, the superstar, is the number 2 hitter on the team for the right-handed pitching. Then you got Buxton, Miranda, Gallo, Kepler, Kirilloff, Larnach, and Vasquez. Over here, you got Buxton leading off, Correa, Polanco, Miranda, Farmer, Gallo, Jeffers, Gordon, and Celestino. I like this lineup better than I like the other lineup. So versus left-handed pitching, but they're going to see more righties. All teams usually see more righties than lefties. So this is the team that you're going to see more often, and so let's hope that they can do well. Now, as far as the depth chart goes in other capacities, if you would give me a moment to get to this page. If we look at the bullpen and we pull up Evan Analytics real quick, I believe Evan Analytics had the Minnesota bullpen, I believe, as a top 10 bullpen as a rating. And I can just verify that right now. Yep, they do. 7th. So they have it rated at 7th best. Their current bullpen rating. I don't know why I screwed that up. Let me refresh that. Anyway, yep, Twins at 7. So that's a good rating for the bullpen for the Twins. Now, if I take a look at the bullpen, Duran, Jorge Lopez from the Orioles. So as you notice, they don't have Lopez as a starting pitcher. They're going to have him as a late inning guy. Griffin Jackson's solid. Thielbar's solid. Alcala's solid. Pagan's solid. McGill is solid. Moran is solid. I don't know much about this. Henriquez and Aaron Sanchez is solid. So this is a top 10 bullpen. I'm not gonna lie, it's very, very good, very, very solid. In fact, it's I would venture to say right now this is the number one asset on the team is their bullpen. It's better than their starting pitching and it's better than their batting. So Minnesota, when you talk about the Twins, you're gonna be thinking about their bullpen. Like this is their number one asset that they have, and I would venture to say that their number 2 asset is their starting pitching. So this is an arms team. This is not a batting team. And I hope that doesn't burst some people's bubbles out there hoping that, oh my God, it's going to be just this big offensive team. We got Correa back and so on. No, this is not that kind of team. This is a Tampa Bay Rays sort of team. And when you think about the Tampa Bay Rays, you think about arms, you think about pitching, you think about dominating the other team defensively, and you don't think about just huge, hitting, home runs, slugging, all that kind of stuff. You don't think about that when you think about the Rays. That's what the Twins are now. Is that basically they're the Tampa Bay Rays. They may have some better hitters, couple better hitters maybe than the Rays, but maybe not. I think the Rays have pretty good hitters too. They're not too bad, but in the old format of the Rays, I think the new format of the Rays is a little more hitting than they used to be. But in the old mold, the old Rays mold, a lot of clubs are going in that direction where they're just investing more in arms than they are in bats. And some people will think that's a good investment to go that route. I personally think it's a pretty good investment. I think it might be the better way to go is to go with the arms over the bats. But you're going to have games that are going to be like 4-3 and 3-2 and 5-3 and 2-1 and 1-0. And you're not going to have games that are going to be like, 8-6, 8-5, 9-4. You're not going to have a lot of those games. Not with this group, you're not, because if the starting pitching can get to the 5th inning and they hand the ball over to that bullpen, that's a top 10 bullpen, you're going to see a lot of teams struggle against the Twins bullpen. They're solid up and down the way. There's other teams that have very good bullpens. If we go back and look, they got the Dodgers at the number 1 bullpen, and the Astros and the Guardians, Braves, Red Sox, and Marlins. Those bullpens are better than the Twins bullpen is. So there's better bullpens than the ones I just showed you, with the Twins out there. But the Twins are very formidable in their bullpen, so I'm not going to beat that too much more. Now, as far as batting average last year, the Twins were at 248, which is just really bad. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty low, even though it's ranked 13. Last year was the worst hitting year that we've had in so long that I can't even remember. I went through all of these numbers all the way back as far as I could go to 2. And you were seeing teams, instead of 264, you were seeing teams at 282. You're seeing teams at 290 compared to last year's 264. The Red Sox, the 3 Red Sox, you were seeing teams 282. In fact, I even think I went through and I saw a team that was in the 290s in a certain spot here, a 287. So there's a 290 right there. The Yankees, the 7 Yankees was 290 team batting average for the entire 162 game season. And I believe there was even one that was higher than this when I went through this. My point is, if you look at a 290 versus 2007 Yankees to a 264, oops, I'm sorry, I went to postseason. A 264 for the Blue Jays? That's a 26 percentage point difference for a top hit. The pitching was obviously very, very good, and the hitting was obviously very, very bad. So you have a combination of two. That's like a 2 storms converging, out in the middle of the ocean out there. You got great pitching, bad hitting. That's your result, 264. Horrible. Absolutely horrible offensive year. So I would predict next season, or this upcoming campaign at 2023, to be a better hitting campaign for the entire league. If it stays like this, under 270, that's going to be quite underwhelming for a lot of people who enjoy the sport. They're going to want to see some teams hitting in the 270s and 280s as a team batting average. It's just going to be more electric. So I thought I'd show you that. That was pretty amazing. And then in terms of pitching, where the Twins lined up was 19th at 3.98 down here, which again, it wasn't that great. You compare that to a 2.8 at number 1 for the Dodgers, and they were almost kissing 4, which is almost embarrassing. So I look for the Twins to bounce back even in that capacity. Remember, early in the very beginning of the video, I told you I think they're going to hit 90 wins from their 78 wins. Well, you don't get an extra 12 wins unless you improve in areas. You have to improve in the pitching, and you have to improve in your batting. Where I think this team is going to improve in is this ERA. I think that they're going to probably be a top 15 ERA team. They might even be top 10 possibly with their team. And Pablo Lopez will hopefully stabilize the main part of their rotation, the number 3 spot, and hopefully Gray and Ryan can hold up in front of Lopez. And again, the 2 M guys, Maeda and Molly, on the back end. And they have some other guys in the bullpen if we got injured arms that can step up and come up. So overall, I think we're going to be good from a pitching standpoint. And I do anticipate the ERA to come down off this 398 and get into the mid 3s perhaps. And last but not least, let's go into the just some facts about last particular season. I'd like to go over real briefly here, and let's take a look at what we got here. These pages on the baseball reference are pretty lengthy in terms of data. Okay, so 78 and 84, a 481 winning percentage. Horrible. Not horrible, but just not that good. Really good at home, 46 and 35. This is a good home team at Target Field. So they take their Target Field games pretty seriously, and they have been. I've been noticing. Road, they were horrible, almost as bad as the Royals were. 395, just absolutely abysmal on the road last year. Month by month, good in April, good in May, kind of average in June, average in July, average in August, and to finish the season out, they tanked. This team was winning the division in late August and absolutely tanked in September and October. It was probably the most disconcerting thing I've ever seen in a Twins season in my life. This team was winning the division and let Cleveland take it over in late August. It was really, 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 really bad. They were winning the entire season if you guys were watching the standings. So don't let that occur again, but you do have some competition with the Guardians and the White Sox. And even, I looked at the Royals last night, and they could be a surprise team too as well. So blowouts, they were 500 in blowouts. That's kind of interesting. They had 54 blowout games, and they won 27 of them. In one-run games, they were 20 and 28, which isn't very good. Overtime, 5 and 10. That's not very good. 9-inning games, basically 500, 73 and 74. I don't know what that actually means. Yeah, I do. I know what that means. First half, 50 and 44, and there's the tail of the season right there. Tank job in the second half, 28 and 40. So I really hope that they come out really hot in the spring like they did last year, and just take it to the field and can hold first place the entire time. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the Twins 2023 Outlook, and subscribe if you would, and I look forward to showing you more Twins videos in the season ahead, and also showing you just the state of the league in the season ahead. So thanks again, and take care. Bye-bye.